Hello and welcome to Quadratics 3.3, Solving Equations by Factoring. Okay, so this lesson is going to continue where we left off with the last one, where we're going to factor first, and then we're going to solve for x. Okay, so there's going to be two steps basically, yeah? Factoring first and solving for x. So the first part, hopefully you got a little practice from 3.2, and it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm going to make a lot of assumptions that the factoring is maybe not easy, but a little bit easier than it was before. So I might go through them kind of fast. So if you need a little review on factoring, just go back to section 3.2 video. Okay, so first you want to factor problem B. Yeah, so x squared minus 6x minus 16. So we're going to factor it just like normal. We're going to make two parentheses. Oops, wrong color. Let's put it to blue. So we're going to have two blank parentheses, then equal to 0. So that's the big difference, yeah. When we did 3.2, we didn't have the equal 0 part on the back end. Okay, for 3.3 solving, we have this equal 0, so that's a big difference. Okay, so that equals 0 means that we're going to solve for x at the very, very end. Okay, so just going to ask ourselves, what two numbers make negative 16 when I multiply and negative 6 when I add? Okay, we know x is going to go in the front, x and x, because x and x in the front make your x squared. Okay, so that guarantee we know. Yeah, so we got negative 16 is going to be probably negative 8 and positive 2. Yeah, so negative 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6, so it works. Okay, so the part that we're going to be doing with the solving for x is going to come into play right now. So this is going to combine things that you saw in 3.1 and 3.2. So 3.1 teaches us how to solve for x when it's in factored form. 3.2 got us to this form in the first place. So those two sections go hand in hand, and they help get us our final answer. Okay, so hopefully you remember your section 3.1, and if you do, then we're in good shape. Okay? So we're just going to set each of these x's, or parentheses, I guess you can say, equal to 0, and we're going to solve for each x individually. Okay, so left side we're going to get x minus 8 equals 0. Right side we're going to get x plus 2 equals 0. And when I solve for x on the left side, add 8 on both sides, so add 8, and we're going to get x equals 8. So that's one answer. This we're going to minus 2 on both sides. Yeah, and we're going to get x equals negative 2. So when I write my answer in this blank, we're going to get negative 2, comma 8. Yeah, and first problem's done. Okay, next problem. So still more factoring. And this is the one that we had at the very end of, I think, 3.2's lesson, where we're going to see that we have perfect squares all around, right? X and x, perfect square. 12 and 12, perfect square. We've got our minus sign in the middle. So we can do difference of two squares, but we're still going to start off with the blank parentheses. Yeah, notice how a lot of the things that we factor start off with that, then equal to 0. Okay, x is in the front, 12 is in the back, right? So these are all the things that are perfect squares of my original problem. Then since it's a minus sign in the middle, we're just going to put plus and minus, and this is all factored. Okay, so for 3.1, incorporating into this problem, we're going to set each of these x's, each of these parentheses equal to 0, and we're going to solve for each parentheses. We're going to solve for each x individually. So basically x plus 12 equals 0, and x minus 12 equals 0. Okay, so minus 12 both sides. Oops, minus 12. Better make sure I better write that. And we get x equals negative 12. And this would add 12 both sides. And we're going to get x equals 12. So my two answers are negative 12, comma 12. Okay. Okay, so pretty straightforward. All right, next problem. Okay, so this is where we're going to get our first curveball. Okay, so they're not giving us the problem in the form that we can just go straight to factoring. Okay, so this is one of the things you got to remember when you solve for problems that include x squared. Okay, so when you solve for problems that include x squared, there's a couple of rules that you need to follow. Okay, you got to shift things around, right? Because you have x squared and 4x plus 45. They're on opposite sides of the equal sign. Yeah, so before you can start any process of factoring, you have to make sure everybody's on the same side and zeros on the other side. And if you don't have that, you can't factor first. Yeah, so right now we have x squared, like I said, and 4x plus 45. They're on different sides of the equal sign. So I got to make them on either everybody on the left, or I got to put everybody on the right. Okay, so that's one of the rules that I have to make sure I follow. The second rule that you wanna make sure you follow is move everybody towards the side that has the positive x squared. Okay, you don't ever want to make a problem that you're going to have to factor with negative x squared. If you have to factor with negative x squared, you're just going to open up a problem that you're not going to want to factor at that point. So at the very least, okay, or actually this is what I highly recommend. Okay, when you move stuff around, bring everybody to the side that has positive x squared. So is my x squared right now where he is positive? Yeah, on the left side he's positive. So I know it's going to take more work to move 4x plus 45 to the left side. Yeah, you have to minus 4x, we have to minus 45. I know that's more work, right? Some kids would be just like, why don't I just move x squared to the right? I just gotta move one thing. Okay, no, you're better off just moving the 4x and the 45 to the left. Okay, so I'm gonna write the problem in its original form, and then I'm gonna show you how they're gonna move to the left side. Okay, so subtract 4x, subtract 4x. Okay, and I'm not lining them up vertically where they're gonna be combining. They're gonna be like terms. So yeah, please don't think that because I'm putting the negative 45 underneath the x squared that they're like terms. They're not. Okay, so all right, so we got. Oh, that's the wrong color. I wanted blue for my line. Let's switch it back to blue. I thought I did. Maybe that was the eraser. Okay, so we got 0 on the right side. That's what I want, right? I want 0 on one side or the other. Then I have x squared minus 4x minus 45. Yeah. So I got everything I wanted. I got my x squared positive. I got my 0 on one side. Okay, so now I just got to go and factor, just like I did the previous two problems. So we're going to start off with blank parentheses equal to 0. Okay, so there's that key characteristic we need to have. We need to have that equals 0. We didn't have it in the beginning of the problem. Okay, so we got x's in the front, and we got what two numbers make negative 45 when I multiply and negative 4 when I add. And that would be negative 9 and positive 5. Okay, so that's my factored form of this problem. So now I'm gonna incorporate section 3.1 into the mix, and I'm gonna solve for x. So I'm gonna skip a couple of steps because you guys know what I'm about to write. So I'm gonna show you guys how you can take some shortcuts, right? You guys, if you can do this in your head, you better just go straight to, you can just imagine x minus 9 equals 0 in your head, right? Because you kind of see it on your paper right now anyway. So you can envision yourself adding 9 to both sides, and you can just get x equals 9. So I know I'm skipping some steps, which I don't usually recommend, but for those of you guys that can do it, and you can see that these things are going to come out in this way, you're more than welcome to skip this step if you don't want to write it all out, and that's perfectly fine with me. Okay, so this one would be x plus 5 equals 0. So you would minus 5 on both sides, so you would get x equals negative 5. Okay, so when you write your answer on this line, you go smallest number on the left, biggest number on the right. I don't know if I mentioned that in the previous two problems, yeah? Whenever you write your answer on the line like this, you want to go smaller number on the left, bigger number on the right. Okay, you can't just write any old order you want. You have to put smaller to bigger. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Okay, letter J. Ooh, okay, we got the factoring you don't like. The one that we have to do guess and check. Okay, so because I'm not going to have the space to go guess and check, I already know the answer, right? Like I told you guys last video, I pre-do these problems on the side so I know what the answers are, right? But I'll talk them through it so I can tell you how these answers work, right? So I still make the blank parentheses. I put the equals 0, that's brought upon by this section because you're gonna solve for x later on. Okay, and my two numbers in the front, they're gonna make my 3x that sits in the front there. So 3x squared actually. Okay, so 3x and x. And then negative 4, I'm gonna put the numbers that make negative 4 in that second position. Yeah, and then the inside outside is gonna make my positive 11. Okay, so let's see if this works. So I'm thinking put positive 4 and negative 1. Yeah, and let's test if it works, right? Because this is guess and check, right? This is not, when I do this on the first try correctly, it's not reality now. Yeah, you're not going to usually get it correct on the first try. I'm only getting it correct because I already tried all the combinations already when I tried this problem on the side before I made the video. Okay, so when I check my middle, my positive 11x, I go inside outside, so negative 1x, and outside's going to be positive 12x. And when these guys join forces, they make 11x, and that's exactly my middle, so I'm on the right track. Okay, so then I'm going to set both of these parentheses equal to 0, and then I'm going to solve for x. So 3x minus 1 equals 0, and x plus 4 equals 0. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit more work to get this left side solved, right? So add 1 both sides. So I get 3x equals 1. Divide by 3, so I get x equals 1/3. Okay, and this right side one, just going to subtract 4 both sides. This you can probably just see it happening in your head, so negative 4. Okay, but this left side problem, right? You have to add the 1 to get 3x equals 1. Divide by 3, you get x equals 1/3. Okay, so it took a little bit more work on this left side. Yeah, so this is back when you guys were in your earlier math days and you guys solved two-step equations. Okay, so hopefully that skill is still kind of fresh in your brain. If it's not, then just work on it. You'll get it back. Okay, so when I write my answer on this line, it's going to be negative 4, comma, 1/3, right? Smaller number on the left, bigger number on the right. Okay, okay, last problem up. Okay, so this problem we see something that we saw in, what was that letter? It was letter H, right? Where we didn't have equals to 0. Yeah, so on this last problem that we're going to do, L, right? Yeah, L. Okay, we got to make everybody equal to 0. So remember the two rules. Make sure x squared is positive, right? And right now we have a positive 3, so that's good. He's exactly where we want him. He is not going to move. He is not going to go to the right side. He's going to stay where he is. Everybody's going to come to him. Okay, so we got the first rule squared away. We got the positive x squared. But we want to make everybody equal to 0. So right now this 35 is messing things up. So how do I move this 35 so that he goes to the left side? Okay, how do I move that 35 so that he goes to the left side? Well, hopefully you say just subtract 35 on both sides. And if you said that, then you're perfectly correct. Right? All we're going to do is just going to subtract 35 on both sides. And when I do that, we get 3x squared. And notice, okay, don't worry about that I didn't line these guys up with like terms vertically. Yeah? I know some of you guys like to do it, but I didn't leave a space right here after the 8x so that the regular number could go on the side. So yeah, I'm not lining things up like terms vertically. Okay, some teachers, they want you guys to do that, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to see it coming, so don't worry about it. Okay, so we got that all set up. We're going to do guess and check factoring just like I did in problem J. We're going to make our blank parentheses. Okay, we're going to set it equal to 0. We're going to put 3x and x in the front because they're in charge of making 3x squared. Okay, then I got to figure out what numbers make negative 35 when I multiply and negative 8 when I add the inside outside. So I think that's going to be positive 7, negative 5. Okay, actually, I don't think I know it's going to be it because like I said, I do these problems before I work them out on the video. Okay, so inside is going to be 7x, positive 7x. Outside is going to be negative 15x. And when they join forces, they make negative 8x, and that's exactly the number I wanted. Okay, and I'm running out of room, so let's see, where's my page extender? So hopefully you guys can still see things, even if I page extend. Okay, so let's write them all out. So we got 3x plus 7 equals 0 on the left side, and we got x minus 5 equals 0 on the right side. So right side I just square it off the bat, just solve it. X equals 5, boom, I'm done. I got that answer already. Okay, left side, subtract 7 both sides. I get 3x equals negative 7, and I gotta have more room. Divide by 3, so I get x equals negative 7/3. Okay, so let's see. I gotta be able to write my answer up there. Okay, so I'm gonna get, when I write my answer in numerical order, I'm gonna have negative 7/3 first, comma 5, and there you go. Okay, this problem's all done, or this lesson's all done. Good luck on this lesson. Yeah, and I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.